My child, I want to speak to the tiredness you have been explaining away. I want to speak to the heaviness you keep calling normal, the ache you keep calling nothing, the weariness you keep pushing past because there is always one more thing to do, one more person to answer, one more responsibility waiting for your strength. I have seen the way you have tried to be reasonable about your pain. I have seen the way you have told yourself it is just stress, just a long week, just a season, just your personality, just your body being difficult again. But I want you to listen gently today, because some of what you have been minimizing may not be random at all. It may be your body speaking where your soul went silent. Your body often remembers what your soul had to bury, not as punishment, not as failure, not because you are weak, not because you did not pray enough or trust enough or heal fast enough. Your body remembers because I made you whole, and what touches one part of you can echo through the rest of you. The grief you had no room to grieve, the fear you had no permission to name, the shame you swallowed because you did not know where else to put it, the responsibility you carried because no one else seemed willing to carry it with you. These things do not always disappear because you stop talking about them. Sometimes they wait, sometimes they press, sometimes they rise through the body, asking for care. That heaviness in your chest that seems to come without warning, that tightness in your jaw when you are trying to stay calm, that exhaustion after small tasks that should not feel so large, those tears that come in the car, in the shower, at night, when nothing obvious has happened, that sleep that does not restore you, even when your eyes have been closed for hours. I have noticed it. I have noticed it. And I am not standing over you with accusation. I am drawing near with compassion. This message is not about blaming your body. It is not about fearing every sensation. It is not about diagnosing what only wisdom, care, and proper help may need to discern. This is about meeting the whole person. This is about me coming not only for your thoughts, not only for your spirit, not only for the part of you that knows how to sound strong, but for the body that has carried the unsaid truth when your mouth could not form the words. If this message is already naming something you could not explain, like this video, as an act of agreement that you are ready to stop dismissing what needs my tenderness, subscribe for more restorative God messages that help you return to peace, and share this with someone who has been carrying quiet heaviness and calling it ordinary. And before we go deeper, type this in the comments as your first declaration. Lord, restore what my body has been carrying. Let that be more than a sentence. Let it be the beginning of honesty. Let it be the moment you stop treating your pain as an interruption and begin allowing it to become an invitation into my restoring presence. And I want you to know this, my child. I saw what you had to swallow to survive. I saw the words that rose in your throat and stopped there because speaking them would have cost you too much in that moment. I saw the grief you postponed because there was no time to fall apart. I saw the tears you forced back because someone needed you composed. I saw the strength you performed while something inside you was bending under the weight. You were not invisible to me in the moment when everyone else only saw you functioning. There were times when your silence was not agreement. There were times when your quietness was not peace. There were times when you did not speak because speaking did not feel safe, because telling the truth might have brought rejection, punishment, misunderstanding, dismissal, or more responsibility than your heart could bear. You stayed quiet to keep the peace. You stayed quiet to protect someone else. You stayed quiet because you had learned that your honesty made others uncomfortable. You stayed quiet because no one near you had shown themselves gentle enough, steady enough, or safe enough to receive the truth of what was happening inside you. It was not weakness. It was not drama. It was not a lack of faith. It was pain with nowhere safe to go. Hear me say that again until the accusation loses its grip. It was not weakness. It was not drama. It was not a lack of faith. It was pain with nowhere safe to go. And when pain has nowhere safe to go, it does not always vanish. Sometimes it settles. Sometimes it hides beneath your breathing. Sometimes it becomes the heaviness you cannot explain. Your shoulders have carried what your mouth could not say. Your stomach has held fear that your mind tried to dismiss. Your nervous system has stayed alert long after the danger passed, long after the conversation ended, long after the room changed, long after everyone else moved on. Your body kept watch because some part of you believed it had to. Your body braced because it remembered what happened when you were unguarded. Your body tightened because it was trying to help you survive what your soul was never meant to carry alone. I am not angry at your body for telling the truth. I am not disappointed in the trembling, the fatigue, the ache, the tension, the sudden tears, the deep need to withdraw. I am tender toward the places in you that have been overworked by hidden sorrow. I am tender toward the parts of you that had to hold more than they were designed to hold. I reveal these things not to shame you for burying them, but so that what was buried can finally be brought into my light, my care, my restoring presence. And now I want to speak to the voice that taught you to ignore your own weariness, the voice that rises inside you when your body asks for rest, the voice that says, keep going, do not be a burden, do not need too much, do not ask for help, do not stop until everything is handled, do not let anyone see that you are tired, do not make your pain inconvenient, do not let your limits become a problem for someone else. I know that voice. I have heard it speaking over you in moments when I was inviting you to breathe. I have heard it accuse you when your body was only asking to be cared for. I have heard it turn rest into guilt, need into shame, and limits into something you felt you had to apologize for. But my child, that voice is not my voice. It may sound responsible, it may sound mature, it may sound spiritual, it may even sound like wisdom because it has been with you for so long. But I want you to discern its fruit. My voice leads you into truth with tenderness. My voice corrects without crushing. My voice strengthens without teaching you to despise your humanity. The voice that demands endless endurance from you. The voice that makes you feel guilty for needing what I designed you to need. The voice that treats your body as an obstacle instead of part of my beloved creation. That voice was formed somewhere. It was learned somewhere. It entered through pain, pressure, fear, survival, or repeated disappointment. Maybe it formed in a place where love felt connected to performance, where you were noticed when you achieved, praised when you produced, valued when you were useful, and overlooked when you were simply needy. Maybe it formed because responsibility came to you too early, because you became the steady one, the helper, the listener, the peacemaker, the child who learned to read the room, manage the mood, carry the tension, and make sure everyone else was all right. Maybe it formed in spiritual environments where strength was celebrated but sorrow was rushed, where faith was confused with never struggling, where people quoted truth at your pain without sitting with your heart. Maybe it formed in workplaces that rewarded exhaustion, where the tired body was admired, the unavailable person was promoted, and the one who had no boundaries was called committed. Maybe it formed in relationships where honesty was punished, where telling the truth led to distance, anger, ridicule, withdrawal, or accusation. So you learned to keep quiet and keep functioning. I am not saying this to trap you in the past. I am saying this so you can stop mistaking conditioning for identity. I am saying this so you can understand why rest has felt unsafe, why receiving care has felt uncomfortable, why your first instinct is to override yourself even when you are clearly depleted. Your exhaustion is not proof that you failed. It may be evidence that you were trained to abandon yourself for too long. It may be evidence that you learned how to leave your own needs behind in order to stay accepted, stay useful, stay safe, stay needed, or stay in control. The world you live in often calls the productive body valuable. It measures worth by output, response time, endurance, availability, visible usefulness, and how much you can carry without asking anyone to stop. The world looks at the one who is always doing and says, that one is strong, that one is dependable, that one matters. But I look at you before you produce anything, before you answer anyone, before you fix the problem, before you hold the family together, before you meet the deadline, before you become impressive, and I call you beloved. You are not loved because you are useful to me. You are loved because you are mine. Hear this clearly. You are not your output. You are not your capacity to induce. You are not the number of people you keep from falling apart. You are not the crisis you prevented. You are not the role you keep filling because no one else learned how to step forward. You are not the strength people admire while ignoring the cost to your body. You are not the calm face you wear while your insides are pleading for mercy. You are, my child, first, before service, before responsibility, before resilience, before achievement, before anyone names what they need from you. I have already named who you are to me. And when you override yourself again and again, something costly begins to happen. You lose sensitivity to your own need. You stop noticing hunger until you are empty. You stop noticing sadness until it becomes numbness. You stop noticing tension until it becomes pain. You stop noticing fear until your body is already braced. You stop noticing grief until tears come without explanation. Rest begins to feel unsafe because your system has learned that stopping exposes what busyness has been covering. Quiet begins to feel threatening because quiet gives your soul room to speak. And because your soul was trained to whisper, your body eventually had to speak louder. This is why I am drawing near with such tenderness. I am not condemning you for the patterns you learned in order to survive. I am separating my voice from the voice that wounded you. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between holy responsibility and self-abandonment, between faithful service and fear-driven overfunctioning, between love and the anxious need to prove that you deserve a place. You do not have to keep obeying the voice that told you your weariness was inconvenient. You do not have to keep bowing to the measuring system that only blesses you when you are useful. Let this truth begin to loosen something in you. Your body is not betraying you by becoming tired. It may be telling the truth after years of being ignored. Your weariness is not a moral failure. It may be the honest evidence of burdens carried too long, without rest, without help, without permission, without tenderness. And I am giving you permission now to listen, not with fear, not with shame, but with me. I did not create you as separate pieces fighting for permission to exist. I did not make your spirit holy and your body inconvenient. I did not make your mind valuable and your emotions embarrassing. I did not make your soul eternal and your nervous system irrelevant. I made you whole. I breathed life into dust. I joined breath and body, spirit and flesh, thought and feeling, hunger and worship, tears and prayer, stillness and strength. You were never designed to live as though one part of you must be ignored, so another part of you can be accepted by me. This is why I am not only speaking to what you believe, I am speaking to how you breathe, I am speaking to how you sleep, I am speaking to the way your attention scatters because some part of you is still watching for danger. I am speaking to the appetite that disappears when grief becomes too heavy, and the appetite that reaches for comfort when emptiness becomes too loud. I am speaking to the tight chest, the shallow breath, the restless night, the sudden heaviness, the difficulty receiving peace even when your mind knows the truth. My restoration does not stop at your thoughts. I do not only restore doctrine, I restore the places where life has become braced. You have sometimes thought that maturity meant rising above the body, as though the truly spiritual person should be untouched by exhaustion, untouched by sorrow, untouched by pressure, untouched by the need for quiet waters. But I am the one who leads beside still waters. I am the one who restores the soul. I am the one who calls the weary and burdened to come, not to perform, not to pretend, not to explain why the burden became heavy, but to receive rest. I do not mock the weary for needing rest. I invite them. I do not shame the burdened for having a burden. I call them close. My child, you were not designed for endless alertness. You were not designed to live with your body always scanning, always anticipating, always preparing for the next disappointment, the next demand, the next emotional storm. You were not designed for endless suppression, swallowing words, swallowing tears, swallowing anger, swallowing grief, until your body has to carry what your mouth was never allowed to release. You were not designed for endless responsibility, where every room becomes yours to regulate, every person becomes yours to rescue, every outcome becomes yours to secure. You were not designed for endless emotional containment, holding pain without witness, holding fear without comfort, holding pressure without relief. So when I come to restore you, I do not come with shallow relief. I do not come merely to help you feel better for a moment while the roots remain untouched. I come to the fear beneath the fatigue. I come to the grief beneath the numbness. I come to the resentment beneath the tension. I come to the shame beneath the collapse. I come to the old belief beneath the new exhaustion, the hidden wound beneath the familiar pattern, the unspoken memory beneath the heaviness you keep trying to outwork. Let me teach your whole person that my presence is safe. Let your body learn what your spirit has been trying to believe. Let your breath receive what your mind has repeated. Let your shoulders hear the truth that your heart has needed. You do not have to earn the right to be cared for. You do not have to prove that your pain is serious enough before you bring it to me. You do not have to divide yourself into acceptable and unacceptable parts in my presence. I am not asking you to despise your body in order to honor me. I am asking you to bring your whole self to me, because I made your whole self, I love your whole self, and I am restoring your whole self. The part of you that prays and the part of you that trembles can come together. The part of you that believes and the part of you that feels afraid can come together. The part of you that wants to be strong and the part of you that is tired of holding everything can come together. Nothing in you has to fight for permission to be seen by the one who formed you. So breathe gently, my child, not as a technique to force peace, but as a small agreement with the truth that you are held. Let the breath come slowly. Let the body know it does not have to carry the soul's unsaid truth alone anymore. I am not only healing what you can explain, I am restoring what has been speaking through weariness, through tension, through silence, through tears. I am coming for the whole person, and I will not abandon any part of you that needs my peace. And now, my child, I want to help you name what may have been resting beneath the heaviness. Not so you can become afraid of your body, not so you can analyze every sensation until peace feels far away, not so you can force certainty where gentleness is needed. I am not asking you to diagnose yourself with fear. I am inviting you to become honest with me. I am inviting you to let the heaviness speak. In my presence, slowly, safely, without accusation, without hurry, without the pressure to understand everything at once. Because what you have been calling tired may not only be tired. What you have been calling laziness may not be laziness. What you have been calling moodiness, sensitivity, weakness, or a difficult season may be something deeper asking for my care. Sometimes the body grows heavy because grief has been waiting for a proper place. Sometimes the breath becomes shallow because fear has become a way of living. Sometimes the shoulders tighten because anger was never allowed to tell the truth. Sometimes the stomach knots because shame settled there after too many accusations. Sometimes the whole person feels burdened because responsibility crossed the boundary of assignment and became a weight I never asked you to carry. There may be grief in you that never had a place to go, losses that were minimized because other people had worse losses, endings that were rushed past because life demanded that you keep moving, disappointments that were spiritualized before they were mourned, covered too quickly with phrases that sounded faithful but did not give your heart room to ache. You told yourself, it is fine. You told yourself, I should be over this. You told yourself, God has a plan, and that is true, my child. But truth was never meant to be used as a lid over uncried tears. I do have a plan. I do bring beauty. I do restore what is broken. But I also weep with those who weep. I also draw near to the brokenhearted. I also collect tears that others thought were unnecessary. Your grief did not become illegitimate because someone else could not hold it. There may be fear in you that became vigilance. The kind of fear that stopped feeling like fear because it became normal. Always scanning the tone of a voice. Always rereading the message. Always checking the mood in the room. Always listening for what is not being said. Always watching the bills, the health report, the relationship, the conflict, the silence, the possible rejection. Your body learned to stay ready. Ready for disappointment. Ready for criticism. Ready for abandonment. Ready for the sudden shift. Ready for the moment when peace would be interrupted again. And because you were ready for so long, rest began to feel unfamiliar. Calm began to feel suspicious. Safety began to feel temporary. My child, I see the part of you that has been standing guard long after the threat has passed. There may be anger in you that was never allowed to be honest. Not rage that wants to destroy, but the clean pain of violated boundaries, ignored needs, repeated dismissals, and love that kept costing you your own voice. You learned to put resentment under politeness. You learned to call silence peace. You learned to forgive without ever telling the truth about what hurt you. You learned to move on without repair, to smile without resolution, to keep showing up while something inside you was saying, this is not right, hear me clearly. Forgiveness does not require pretending that harm did not happen. Mercy does not require self-erasure. Love does not require you to offer your body as a storage place for unspoken resentment. Some of the tension you feel may be anger that has been waiting to be brought into my light and purified into truth, boundaries, courage, and freedom. There may be shame in you that settled into the body, shame for feeling too much, shame for needing too much, shame for resting too much, shame for crying too much, shame for not being healed fast enough, shame for still being affected by something you thought should no longer affect you, shame for having limits, shame for being unable to carry what others expected you to carry. That shame may have taught your body to shrink, to tighten, to hide, to brace before anyone even speaks. But I did not form you in shame. I did not knit you together so you would spend your life apologizing for being human. Your need is not disgusting to me. Your tears are not excessive to me. Your process is not too slow for me. I am patient with what you keep punishing. I am tender toward what you keep trying to hide. And there may be responsibility in you that exceeded your assignment. You may have carried other people's choices, as though love meant preventing every consequence. You may have carried other people's emotions as though peace depended on your constant management. You may have carried emergencies that were not yours to own, outcomes that were not yours to secure, adults who were never meant to become your burden, rooms you were never meant to regulate, futures you were never meant to control. You called it love because you cared deeply. You called it faithfulness because you did not want to abandon anyone. But love does not require self-erasure. Faithfulness does not require taking my place. You can care without caring what belongs to another person. You can love without becoming the savior. You can be present without making yourself responsible for every outcome. So if your body has felt heavy, do not immediately accuse it. Listen with me. Ask gently, is this grief asking to be mourned? Is this fear asking to be comforted? Is this anger asking to tell the truth? Is this shame asking to be covered by my love? Is this responsibility asking to be surrendered back into my hands? You do not have to know the answer all at once. You do not have to dig violently into your own soul. You only have to bring the heaviness into my presence and let me reveal what can be revealed today. Place your hand over your chest if you can and breathe without forcing anything. Let the body know it is no longer alone with what it has been holding. Say quietly within yourself, Lord, I bring you what I have been carrying without words. Let that be your surrender. Let it be simple. Let it be honest. What feels like unexplained heaviness may be grief, fear, anger, shame, or responsibility asking to come home to my care. And I am here. I am here. I am not afraid of what is beneath the surface, and I will not shame you for finally letting it be seen. And now I want to name the lies that keep the burden in place. Because healing does not only begin when you feel something. Healing begins when you stop agreeing with the false scripts that taught you to carry what was never yours, hide what needed tenderness, and call exhaustion holy because silence felt safer than honesty. I want to name these lies gently, but clearly. I want to bring them into the light because a lie loses strength when it is no longer mistaken for truth. A lie can sound responsible. A lie can sound spiritual. A lie can sound like wisdom if it has been repeated long enough inside your pain. But my truth comes to separate what has protected you from what has imprisoned you. The first lie is this: if I stop, everything will fall apart. This lie has kept your body in a state of constant emergency. It has told you that rest is dangerous because your absence will cause collapse, your silence will cause chaos, your pause will cause someone else's need to go unmet, your boundary will make everything worse. It has made you believe that your constant availability is the only thing holding your world together. But, my child, I am not asking you to be the savior of every situation. I am not asking you to hold what only I can hold. I am not asking you to manage every outcome, prevent every disappointment, absorb every emotion, and repair every fracture by the force of your own body. You are not faithless when you release what belongs in my hands. You are not selfish when you stop carrying what was never assigned to you. There will be things that shift when you stop overfunctioning. There may be people who feel the absence of the access they had to your depletion, but that does not mean everything is falling apart. It may mean order is being restored. The second lie is this: my pain is only valid if I can explain it perfectly. This lie has made you suspicious of your own tears. It has made you interrogate your weariness before you allow yourself compassion. It has made you believe you must provide a clean reason, a clear timeline, a logical cause, and language that satisfies every question before your pain is allowed to be real. But I understand groans before language arrives. I understand tears before explanations form. I understand silence when words feel too heavy. I understand exhaustion that cannot produce a paragraph. I have heard the prayer in your breath. I have heard the ache in your quietness. I have heard what you could not say without even one sentence leaving your mouth. Your pain does not become valid only when it becomes articulate. Your grief does not become real only when you can defend it. You may bring me the unfinished, unnamed, unclear, wordless weight, and I will not demand a perfect explanation before I offer mercy. The third lie is this: strong people do not need rest. This lie has dressed itself in admiration. It has been reinforced by people who praised your endurance while ignoring your depletion. It has told you that the strongest person is the one who never stops, never needs, never breaks, never asks, never admits that the weight has become too much. But strength without restoration becomes damage. Endurance without replenishing becomes erosion. Faithfulness without stillness becomes strain. Even the faithful need sleep. Even the obedient need food. Even the called need quiet. Even the ones who love deeply need to be restored deeply. I did not design strength to be sustained by self-neglect. I did not call your body holy only when it is exhausted. True strength knows when to receive. True strength can stop because it trusts me. True strength is not the denial of limits. It is the humility to live within the design I gave you. The fourth lie is this: if I admit what I feel, I will dishonor God. This lie has made honesty feel like rebellion. It has made you cover sorrow with spiritual phrases before your heart has had room to breathe. It has made you think that fear is failure, anger is sin before it is examined, grief is unbelief, and weariness is ingratitude. But honesty before me is not dishonor. It is the doorway to healing. I already know what is in you. Your confession does not surprise me. Your tears do not threaten my throne. Your questions do not weaken my power. Your trembling does not offend my holiness. Bring me the sadness. Bring me the fear. Bring me the anger that needs cleansing, not denial. Bring me the disappointment you have been afraid to name. I am not honored by a performance that keeps your heart hidden from my care. I am honored when you come into the light and let me meet you truthfully. The fifth lie is this: my body is betraying me. This lie has made you angry at the very part of you that has been trying to survive. It has made you treat your tension as an enemy, your fatigue as failure, your tears as inconvenience, your heaviness as proof that something is wrong with you. But what if your body is not betraying you? What if it has been protecting, warning, remembering, and asking to be brought into peace? What if the tightness is not rebellion, but a signal? What if the exhaustion is not laziness, but a message that something has been carried too long? What if the tears are not weakness, but truth finding a doorway? Your body is not beyond my tenderness. Your body can learn safety. Your body can learn release. Your body can come out of constant bracing and into my peace, slowly, patiently, gently, as truth replaces the lies that kept it afraid. So listen to me now. Exhaustion is not holy simply because it is familiar. Silence is not safe simply because it helped you survive. Carrying everything alone is not obedience. Pretending you are fine is not faith. Pushing through every signal is not maturity. Healing begins when you stop agreeing with the lies that made your body a storage place for unsurrendered pain. Healing begins when you let my truth speak louder than the old instruction. You may stop. You may need. You may rest. You may tell the truth. You may bring your whole self into my presence and find that I am not waiting with accusation, but with restoration. And if this is where you are ready to agree with me, type this in the comments. I release the lie that I must carry this alone. Let that be your declaration. Let it be your surrender. Let it be the first breath of a body, learning that it no longer has to hold hidden pain without my peace. And I want you to look at Jesus, my child. Look at him not only as the Savior who healed, taught, delivered, confronted, and obeyed, but as the Son who entered fully into the limits of a human body. He did not come wearing humanity as a costume. He came in flesh. He came with hunger. He came with thirst. He came with weariness. He came with tears. He came with the need for sleep, food, solitude, and the quiet presence of the Father. He did not despise the body he took on. He did not treat human limits as shameful. He did not live as though exhaustion was proof of devotion. Jesus slept. Jesus withdrew. Jesus ate with people. Jesus paused by wells. Jesus wept at graves. Jesus felt anguish in a garden. Jesus left crowds while needs were still present. Jesus rose early to pray while others were looking for him. Jesus crossed water. Jesus sat down. Jesus received care. Jesus allowed his body to live inside the design of humanity without apology, without guilt, without pretending that holiness required him to become untouched by human limitation. Do you see the pattern? Withdrawal was not abandonment. Solitude was not selfishness. Sleep was not negligence. A pause was not failure. When Jesus withdrew to lonely places, he was not escaping purpose. He was aligning with the Father. He was not running away from love. He was remaining rooted in love. He was not ignoring the world's pain. He was refusing to let the crowd become the master of his obedience. The urgent need around him did not always define the assignment before him. The loudest demand did not always determine the next step. The pressure of people did not replace the voice of the Father. This is what I want you to receive. Not every need is your assignment. Not every urgency is your command. Not every open door is obedience. Not every request deserves access to your strength. Not every crisis must be carried in your body, as though your constant availability is the only evidence that you care. Jesus loved perfectly, and still he did not answer every demand on the crowd's timetable. Jesus was compassion in flesh, and still he withdrew. Jesus was the will of the Father in motion, and still he slept. Remember him asleep in the storm. The wind was real. The waves were real. The fear of the disciples was real. The pressure around the boat was not imaginary. But there he was, resting in a peace deeper than the surrounding violence. His sleep was not denial. His sleep was not carelessness. His sleep revealed a trust that the storm did not have authority over his identity, his timing, or his Father's hold. And my child, I am not telling you this so you will pretend storms do not matter. I am telling you that peace is not proven by the absence of pressure. Sometimes peace is revealed when your body can stop bracing even before everything around you becomes calm. You have treated exhaustion as though it proves that you are serious, faithful, needed, and devoted. But if Jesus honored human limits without shame, you do not have to call exhaustion a spiritual virtue. You do not have to make an altar out of depletion. You do not have to keep offering your nervous system to demands I never gave you. You do not have to prove love by never pausing. You do not have to prove faith by ignoring your body. You do not have to prove maturity by making your needs disappear. You are allowed to pause without calling it failure. You are allowed to rest without calling it selfishness. You are allowed to receive care without apologizing for need. You are allowed to eat when you are hungry, sleep when you are tired, weep when you are grieving, withdraw when your soul needs quiet, and sit with me before you answer the next demand. This is not weakness. This is not laziness. This is not spiritual decline. This is agreement with the pattern I have already shown you in the life of my Son. So let the life of Jesus correct the voice that has shamed your limits. Let his sleep in the storm speak to the part of you that thinks peace must be earned after everything is fixed. Let his withdrawal from the crowd speak to the part of you that believes love means unlimited access. Let his tears speak to the part of you that has called grief unspiritual. Let his hunger and weariness speak to the part of you that has treated the body like an obstacle instead of a vessel I formed. I am not asking you to become less faithful. I am teaching you the shape of faithful humanity. I am teaching you obedience that listens before it rushes, love that gives without self-erasure, compassion that remains rooted, and peace that does not need permission from the storm. Rest, my child. Pause with me. Let Jesus show you that your limits are not the enemy of your calling. They are part of the place where trust is learned. Now, my child, let this move from something you understand into something you allow. Do not leave this only in your mind. Do not make healing another idea you agree with, while your body continues to hold the weight alone. I am not asking you to force a breakthrough. I am not asking you to manufacture a feeling. I am not asking you to perform peace so that you can prove you trusted what I said. I am inviting you into a moment of honesty with me. So pause if you can. Let your jaw unclench. You may not have noticed how tightly you were holding it. Let your tongue rest. Let your shoulders lower, even a little. Let your hands loosen. If your fists have been closed, let them open slowly. If your fingers have been gripping the fabric, the chair, the blanket, the phone, the edge of control, let them soften. Take one honest breath. Not a perfect breath. Not a spiritual-looking breath. Not the kind of breath that pretends everything is fine. just one honest breath with me. You do not have to impress me with calm. Bring me the tremble. Bring me the ache. Bring me the place that still braces. Bring me the tightness that does not know how to release yet. Bring me the guarded place that has been waiting for the next hurt. Bring me the heaviness in the chest, the knot in the stomach, the pressure behind the eyes, the tiredness in the bones, the numbness that feels like nothing but maybe protecting something tender underneath. I am not offended by your body's honesty. I am not disappointed that peace is not instant. I am not measuring the sincerity of your faith by how quickly your nervous system relaxes. Now gently notice one place in your body that feels tense, heavy, closed, or tired. Do not search violently. Do not scan yourself with fear. Just notice. Maybe it is your shoulders. Maybe it is your chest. Maybe it is your throat, your stomach, your back, your face, your hands. Let that place come into my presence without accusation. And ask softly, what have you been carrying? Not as an interrogation, not as a demand. Ask as one who is learning to listen with compassion. What have you been carrying that I have not yet allowed myself to say? What grief have you held? What fear have you guarded? What anger have you swallowed? What shame have you hidden? What responsibility have you carried beyond your assignment? And if an answer comes, bring it to me. If only a word comes, in grand, bring the word. If only a memory comes, bring the memory. If only tears come, bring the tears. If nothing comes, bring the nothing. Even numbness can be held by me. Even silence can be prayer when it is turned toward my presence. You do not need a perfect explanation before surrender begins. You do not need to understand the whole story before you offer me the burden that is present today. Say quietly within yourself, Lord, I give you what this place has been carrying. I give you what I can name, and I give you what I cannot name. I give you what I understand, and I give you what still feels tangled. Do not rush to decide whether it worked. Do not judge the moment by whether everything disappeared. Release is not always the instant absence of pain. Sometimes, release is the first loosening. Sometimes, release is the first tear after years of holding. Sometimes release is the first breath that is not trying to survive the next second. Sometimes release is simply the body realizing it is no longer alone with the truth. I am here in the gradual. I am here in the unfinished. I am here when relief comes softly and when the ache remains but is no longer hidden. So let your body tell the truth in my presence. Let it stop pretending. Let it stop apologizing for what it has carried. Let it stop working so hard to appear healed before it has been held. Your tears may come. Your numbness may remain. Your shoulders may lower only a little. Your breath may still feel uneven. And still, my child, you are with me. Still, you are held. Still, restoration has begun in the place where performance ended and honesty finally had permission to speak. And now, my child, I want to teach you how restoration begins to become a rhythm, not only a moment. Because I am not only exposing what has been hidden in the body, I am not only revealing the grief, the fear, the shame, the anger, the responsibility, and the old training that taught you to keep going while your soul went quiet. I am teaching you a new way to live with me. I am teaching you how to stop waiting for collapse before you listen. I am teaching you how to receive care before depletion becomes the only language your body has left. Restoration is not escape. It is not numbing yourself until you cannot feel the ache. It is not scrolling until midnight while your body is tired and your soul is still unheard. It is not calling distraction peace because silence feels too honest. It is not spiritual bypassing, where you quote truth over pain you have not brought into my presence. It is not pretending everything is healed because you have learned how to function. And it is not waiting until your body finally forces you to stop because you refused every gentler invitation along the way. I am not trying to lead you from one collapse to another collapse. I am not asking you to survive until you break and then call the breakdown your only Sabbath. I am not calling you to live in a cycle of pushing, ignoring, crashing, recovering just enough to push again, and wondering why your peace feels so fragile. My restoration comes through repeated returning, repeated honesty, repeated rest, repeated surrender, repeated boundaries, repeated moments where you stop placing your body under burdens I never assigned to you and begin again with me. So begin small. Do not make restoration so large in your mind that you never begin. Do not say, if I cannot change everything, I will change nothing. That is another lie. I can meet you in 3 minutes of stillness. I can meet you in one honest sentence written in a journal. I can meet you in one breath before answering the message. I can meet you in one body scan where you ask, where am I holding tension today? I can meet you in one prayer request spoken honestly instead of beautifully. I can meet you in one burden named out loud, Lord, I have been carrying this, and I do not want to carry it alone anymore. Let there be a morning pause before responsibility takes your whole attention, before the phone, before the list, before the demands begin arranging themselves inside your chest. Place your hand over your heart, even for a moment, and say, Lord, I belong to you before I belong to this day's demands. Ask me what is yours to carry and what is not yours to carry. Let the first movement of the day be receiving, not bracing. Let your body learn that waking does not have to mean immediate surrender to pressure. Let there be a transition breath between tasks. When you leave one conversation and enter another, breathe. When you close one door and open the next, breathe. When you finish one responsibility and reach for the next one, pause long enough to return to yourself and to me. You have been moving from demand to demand without ever letting your body know that one thing ended. That is why everything feels stacked, unfinished, and loud inside you. A transition breath is not wasted time. It is a small act of order. It tells your body, this moment is held by God too. Let there be a protected evening boundary. Not every message needs to be answered at night. Not every problem needs access to the hour when your body is asking to soften. Not every person's urgency is permission to enter the space where I am restoring you. There will be evenings when the most obedient thing you can do is stop explaining, stop checking, stop proving, stop managing, and let the day end. You are allowed to have an ending. You are allowed to close the day without solving every unfinished thing. Sleep is not abandonment. Quiet is not neglect. Evening rest is not weakness. It is agreement with the design I gave you. Let there be one weekly hour of quiet honesty. Put it where it can be protected. Treat it as real. Sit with me without performing. Ask, what did I carry this week that was not mine to carry? Where did I say yes from fear? Where did I silence myself to keep peace? Where did my body tell the truth before my mouth could? Write one sentence if that is all you have. Cry if tears come. Sit in silence if words do not come. This hour is not for fixing everything. It is for refusing to abandon yourself again in my presence. And let there be one conversation where truth is spoken gently. Not every truth must be shouted to be real. Not every boundary must be harsh to be holy. You can say, I cannot take that on right now. You can say, I need time to answer. You can say, that hurt me. You can say, I care, but I cannot be responsible for this outcome. You can say, I need rest tonight, my child. Boundary is not lovelessness. Boundary is spiritual cooperation. When you say no to a false assignment, strength begins to return to the true assignment. When you stop spending your body on what I did not give you, you begin to have presence for what I did give you. Stop treating rest as the reward after everything is finished. Everything will not be finished. The list will change its shape and ask for more. The world will not announce a perfect moment for you to become whole. Rest must become part of obedience before depletion takes over. Honesty must become part of prayer before resentment hardens. Boundaries must become part of love before your body begins to fear every relationship. Surrender must become daily, not dramatic, only after you have reached the end of yourself. So begin today, simply, 3 minutes of stillness, one honest sentence, one breath between tasks, one evening boundary, one burden named in my presence, one gentle truth spoken where silence has been costing too much. This is not small to me. This is how a life begins to turn. This is how your body learns that it does not have to scream to be heard. This is how your soul learns that it does not have to disappear to be loved. This is how restoration becomes a rhythm, and rhythm becomes peace, and peace becomes a place where you can live with me without constant inner bracing. And I want you to understand, my child, I am restoring more than your energy. I am not only trying to help you feel less tired for a few days. I am not only giving you a moment of relief so you can return to the same hidden strain with a slightly longer fuse. I am coming deeper than fatigue. I am coming for the places in you that forgot what safety feels like. I am coming for the desires you buried because needing anything felt dangerous. I am coming for the clarity that was clouded by constant managing. I am coming for the softness that hardened because you had to stay guarded. I am coming for the trust that was wounded when you learned that rest could be interrupted, peace could be punished, and love could be tied to performance. You have asked me for strength, and I hear that prayer. But I am also giving you permission to stop confusing strength with constant bracing. There is a strength that looks like breathing again. There is a strength that looks like letting your shoulders lower without immediately preparing for the next crisis. There is a strength that looks like saying, I do not have to manage every person, every mood, every outcome, every possibility, every disappointment, every future scene my fear can imagine. There is a strength that looks like trusting me with what cannot be controlled. This is the movement I am bringing you into, from bracing to breathing, from performing to belonging, from proving to receiving, from managing everyone to trusting me with everyone, from living as though love must be earned to living as one who is already held. I am not asking you to become careless. I am not asking you to become passive. I am not asking you to stop loving people. I am teaching you love that is no longer ruled by fear. I am teaching you responsibility that does not become captivity. I am teaching you compassion that does not require self-erasure. I am teaching you peace that can remain present even when everything around you has not yet become easy. And hear me clearly. The way I restore you may include rest. It may include prayer. It may include medical care. It may include counseling. It may include wise support, honest conversation, protected boundaries, community, nourishment, sleep, movement, tears, silence, and time. None of these contradict faith. None of these mean you have failed to trust me. Receiving help is not unbelief. Telling the truth to a wise counselor is not weakness. Letting a doctor examine what your body is carrying is not spiritual defeat. Asking trusted people to stand with you is not evidence that I am absent. Sometimes, my care reaches you through the people, practices, and provision I place around your life. Do not shame the slowness of healing. Do not measure restoration only by dramatic change. Do not say nothing is happening because you still have tender places. A wound can be healing and still need care. A nervous system can be learning peace and still startle. A heart can be softening and still feel afraid. A body can be releasing what it carried for years and still need patience as it learns a new way to live. Gradual restoration is still restoration. A small measure of peace is not small in my kingdom. One honest breath is not small. One night of rest without guilt is not small. One boundary spoken without collapse is not small. One prayer prayed without performance is not small. I want you to imagine this with me. Waking without dread, pressing against your chest before the day begins. Praying without pressure to say everything perfectly. Resting without guilt standing over you like an accuser. Sitting in quiet without feeling like silence is a threat. Living in your body without treating it as an enemy. Feeling desire return, not as a demand, but as a sign that life is moving again inside you. Feeling clarity return, not because every question is answered, but because fear is no longer shouting over my voice. Feeling softness return, not because you are unprotected, but because you are held. Your body can become a place where my peace dwells, not a place of constant alarm, not a place of hidden grief with no language, not a place where shame stores its accusations, not a place where responsibility piles up until your soul can barely breathe. Your body can become a vessel of presence again. Your mind can become less crowded. Your heart can become less defended. Your life can become less driven by the need to anticipate pain before it arrives. This is my deeper promise. I am not merely restoring energy so you can return to exhaustion. I am restoring wholeness so you can live without constant inner bracing. I am restoring the part of you that forgot you are allowed to be loved while unfinished. I am restoring the part of you that forgot you can receive without earning. I am restoring the part of you that forgot peace is not a reward for perfect control. It is my gift, my presence, my nearness, and it can become livable in you, one surrendered breath at a time. So now, my child, let us pray. Do not rush this. Do not perform this. Let these words become an offering from the places in you that have been carrying more than they were created to carry. Let your body come with you into this prayer. Let your chest come. Let your stomach come. Let your shoulders come. Let your throat come. Let your tired eyes, your clenched hands, your restless mind, and the hidden places that do not yet know how to speak come into my presence. Lord, you are the healer of the body, the soul, the mind, and the spirit. You are not confused by what is tangled inside me. You are not overwhelmed by what I cannot explain. You are not distant from the pain that has lived quietly beneath my functioning. You see what my words have not known how to say. You see what my body has carried in silence. You see the grief I buried because there was no room to feel it, the fear I swallowed because I had to keep moving, the anger I stored because I did not feel safe enough to name it, the shame I inherited and then mistook for identity, and the responsibilities I picked up because I thought love meant carrying what was never assigned to me. Today, I bring it to you. I bring the buried grief. I bring the unspoken fear. I bring the stored anger. I bring the inherited shame. I bring the false responsibility. I bring the heaviness that has sat in my body like a secret. I bring the tightness, the exhaustion, the numbness, the pressure, the bracing, the overthinking, the dread, and the places where survival became so normal that I forgot I was allowed to live from belovedness. And I declare this before you. My body does not have to carry what my soul can bring to God. My body does not have to carry what my soul can bring to God. My body does not have to carry what my soul can bring to God. What I can name, I bring. What I cannot name, I still surrender. What I understand, I release. What I do not understand, I place into your hands. I do not have to solve every hidden wound before I am allowed to be held. I do not have to explain every ache before you begin to restore me. Restore my sleep, Lord. Restore the place where night has felt unsafe. Restore the quiet hours that have been filled with worry, replaying, planning, fearing, and preparing for pain. Teach my body that rest is not danger. Restore my breath. Let it deepen where it has been shallow. Let it slow where it has been hurried. Let it return to rhythm where alarm has ruled. Restore calm to my nervous system. Restore clarity to my mind. Restore softness to my heart. Restore strength to my boundaries. Give me courage to tell the truth in safe places, to speak gently where silence has been costing too much, and to stop calling self-abandonment love. I renounce the lie that my body is cursed. I renounce the lie that my body is rejected. I renounce the lie that my body has been abandoned by you. My body is not an enemy. My body is not a failure. My body is not proof that I am weak, unspiritual, or beyond repair. My body is invited into the peace of God. My whole self is invited into the peace of God. My breath, my thoughts, my memories, my emotions, my limits, my needs, and my future are invited into the restoring presence of God. Teach me to live from belovedness instead of survival. Teach me to stop bracing for a life you are holding. Teach me to release what was never mine to control. Teach me to receive care without shame. Teach me to rest without guilt. Teach me to trust that you can restore what exhaustion covered, heal what silence hid, and bring peace into the places that once only knew pressure. I trust you with the hidden pain. I trust you with the slow healing. I trust you with the tender places. I trust you with the story my body has been telling. And I receive your peace, not as a distant idea, not as a reward for perfect strength, but as your nearness here and now. Restore me, Lord. Hold me, Lord. Lead me, Lord. One breath at a time. Teach me to live as your beloved child. And now, my child, carry this restoration forward. Do not let this remain only a moment you felt and then left behind. Let it become agreement. Let it become a declaration. Let it become a small public yes to the healing I am beginning in the hidden places of your life. If this prayer has spoken to what your body has been carrying, type these words in the comments. Lord, restore what my body has been carrying. Let that be your declaration, not as performance, not as pressure, not to prove anything to anyone. Let it be a simple act of surrender, a visible agreement that your body does not have to carry buried grief, fear, shame, anxiety, fatigue, heaviness, or false responsibility alone anymore. And if you need prayer, write your request in the comments. If you are struggling with exhaustion, heaviness, grief, anxiety, sleep, emotional pain, or the slow work of restoration, bring it into the light. You are not the only one. You are not strange for needing healing. You are not weak because your body has been speaking. Let others stand with you in prayer, and let this become a place where hidden pain is met with compassion, not shame. Like this video as an agreement with the message of whole person restoration. Subscribe for more messages that help you hear truth, release shame, return to peace, and remember who you are in my presence. And share this with someone whose body may be carrying more than they have been able to say. Let this peace move beyond you. Let restoration become a witness. Let what I am healing in you become an invitation for someone else to stop hiding, start breathing, and come home to my care.